Marie here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about the 5 things that you need to know before deciding to transition to your own hair color or transition to gray. So it's been about 19 months for me, and this is all that I have left really of my dark hair. So pretty much the rest, well, the rest of it is natural. And I've got a lot of white in it. But I thought it would be good, you know, I've had all this time to kind of get used to it and process through it. So I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that you need to consider. But before I do that, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. And if you enjoy the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel grow. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. But let's get started. First thing that you need to know is do not rush the decision. So when you're transitioning, like a lot of times a person has had the color that they have chosen. So, you know, we all choose the color that we have these days. You can go warm, you can go cool, you can do all sorts of different things, but I chose my color. So when all of a sudden you're transitioning from the color that you chose to the color that you've been given, you have to feel confident about that. And it's not something that you want to rush or take lightly if you want to actually see the process through. So I talked to family members, I talked to my husband and son, I talked to my mom, all sorts of different people as I processed whether I wanted to go ahead and do it or not. So I really highly recommend, you know, talking to people, thinking a lot about it, and then you want to pick a time that's right for you. So maybe that's during the summer, during summer holidays, or during summer when you're wearing hats or something of that nature. But you want to pick a time that you feel confident about, because when you start the process, you don't want to stop. So, well, you can, but it kind of just is excruciating. For me, I thought about it a lot. Like I'd thought about it for about a year, maybe even 2. So when I was headed towards 50, I knew that I wanted to do it at some point. I chose to start it basically just as I turned 49 for whatever reason. I dyed my hair and I bought a bunch of dye because I always dyed it myself. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm done. And I don't know why, but all of a sudden, boom, I was done. That was it. And so I started the process and had all these bottles of dye. But for whatever reason, that was the moment, and that's when I began the journey 19 months ago. The second thing that you need to know before you start dyeing your hair is, yes, you will have an awkward phase. There is no way around the awkward phase. So you're going to have a demarcation line. It's going to look weird. You're going to feel like you've let yourself go, but you haven't. You're transitioning, and you have to remember that, because it's going to feel like you've let yourself go, but you haven't let yourself go. You are morphing, and you know, whenever there's a morphing time, it's a lot of times awkward. So prepare yourself for awkwardness. Prepare yourself for maybe feeling a little bit ugly. It's just a phase. It's not going to last forever. A few things that you can do to make it feel less awkward: you can wear your hair up, or you can take part of it up so that, you know, you break up the demarcation. You can wear a hat. You can get a wig if you want. You can change your hair. I chose to cut my hair a lot shorter. I had the hair about down to here. I cut it actually about up to here, like left it kind of loosey goosey weird, but I still took it up, and I only had this much gray. So, but I just felt like that would be more intentional, and it would help the process. So that's what I chose to do. You can wear your hair up in a top knot. That really helps as well. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to help that awkward phase not feel so awkward. You can wear a scarf around your head. There's so many different ways. And so feel free to explore and find something that works for you. You're going to have the awkward phase, but I promise you, you will get through it. As long as you don't quit. You cannot quit during the awkward. It's so tempting to quit because it's excruciating to look at yourself in the mirror and go, wow, that's nasty. Like, it, you know, you're already, you know, there's lots of things going on, but then you've got this ugly white line with different hair. you know, you don't feel your best. But I want to encourage you, do not quit. Anything that is worth doing usually takes time, and this is no exception. And the beauty is that if you see it through and you absolutely hate it, you can always re-dye it. But honestly, the majority of people that let their hair go natural love it in the end. So that's my encouragement to you. I know it's going to feel awkward. We all go through it. It's almost like a rite of passage for any woman that chooses to let their hair go to their natural color. But it is worth it. I'm 95% positive that you will feel it's worth it in the end. So the third thing that you need to know is people will have strong opinions about your hair. So I got, why would you do that? Like, I actually had people go, why would you do that? Like, it's some sort of like crazy, creepy thing to want to go natural because they associate it with being old. So you'll also potentially get told that you're gonna look old. You're gonna look way older. Like, why would you want to do that? So you might get told that. And I think it's really sad that as women, we don't value age. For whatever reason, if a man gets older, they look rugged, they look, you know, like a guy with white hair can look really sexy, but a woman with white hair, they look old. It's time to change those stereotypes. I just think it's really important that we begin to help. Like, if you are choosing to go gray, you are choosing to embrace the natural process of aging. You're choosing to embrace what God's given you. You're choosing, like, you're making the choice for some reason. Like, part of the reason why I decided to go natural was because I just got sick of dyeing. But part of it was I really did want to see what color my hair was, and I had a feeling I'd like it. But there's this idea that as women, age is less desirable. Age is ugly. Like, you want to retain that youthful look for as long as possible. And personally, I just think that it's time that we help break society of that ideology, because age is beautiful. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. Age has so much to offer. Age has wisdom to offer. Age means we've grown as individuals, and it's something beautiful. And I guess the other thing is that beauty, it goes way beyond skin deep. So if all we're worried about is our facade, we could be in trouble. So to me, age is part of beauty, because when we age, hopefully we're growing as human beings. Hopefully we're developing and maturing. Hopefully from our 50s and beyond, we're becoming even better human beings because we've allowed God to shift and change us, or whatever, or circumstances to shift and change us. It's the best time of life. It's when you finally get secure in yourself. Hallelujah. I think that we need to embrace age rather than always wanting to be young. Young is wonderful, and yes, beauty is fleeting, but I think there's lots of beauty in developing our characters and all of that, and embracing our wrinkles, and yeah, anyway. Okay, that's for another video. Anyway, people will have strong opinions. They'll think you look older. They'll go, why are you doing that? They'll tell you that you need to have your hair cut shorter. All sorts of things. And I want to say, you wear your hair the way you want to. Don't allow the negative Nellies to stop you from enjoying the process. I guess part of it is during that decision-making process, you need to decide why you're doing it so that all the negative naysayers don't affect your decision. So yeah, get ready for a few very strong opinions. Number 4 is you're going to have an identity crisis. At least I did. So again, you picked a color. You wore that color. Maybe you're one that changed it up a lot. I kept mine the same for like 30 years. It was dark. It was darker than this because this is faded out. So I had long dark hair for so long, and all of a sudden I've got the exact opposite. I went from black to white. Like, this is silver, man. Like, this is a lot of white in here. And so all of a sudden, I didn't feel like me anymore. All of a sudden I'm changing, and I didn't realize how much identity was wrapped up in the hair color I chose. So part of the identity crisis is actually choosing to accept, I had to choose to accept myself with this lighter hair. I had to choose to, I had to choose to accept myself. And then there's trying to figure out, okay, do I have to shift my makeup? Like there's makeup things, there's clothing colors. I normally would never have worn a yellow shirt. Like I was more into the dark colors. As my hair is lightened, I'm actually starting to enjoy wearing light colors. And prior, with the dark hair, I found that basically the dark colors look better, like black and gray was basically my thing. Now I'm starting to really enjoy color, and I feel like for whatever reason, the colors work on me way better. So it's possible that your style will change, or colors in your wardrobe will change. And so I think it's really important during your identity crisis to look at it as an adventure. So don't look at it like, if you start to go like, who am I? I don't even know. Like, I look in the mirror and I don't know who I am. If you get like that, you know, give yourself a pep talk, sit yourself down and go, no, this is an adventure. This is an opportunity to explore another facet of who you are. That's what this is. So whenever there's that identity crisis that starts to come along, embrace it and treat it like an adventure instead. Don't resist it. Start exploring. Try different colors, try different makeup, try different glasses colors, figure out who you are with this new hair color. So just like if you change your hair color and you have to, like if you go from a warmer color to a cooler color, you might have to change your makeup up. You're gonna have to potentially do a little bit of that with this. But if you think of it as an adventure, it'll be fun. So the fifth and I think most important thing to remember before going gray is that you are going to go through a transformation. This is your opportunity. Just like a caterpillar goes into a cocoon and comes out a butterfly and is flying, this is your opportunity to experience that kind of transformation. When you change your hair color, you're not only changing the external, there's something that happens on the inside of us that's really cool. You become more confident. You become more accepting of yourself. It's just the coolest thing what happens. You become more settled in who you are. You accept yourself for who you are, and you embrace yourself for who you are, who you naturally are. And even like over the 19 months, having to go through like the awkward phase, your pride gets challenged. So you have to deal with your pride. Then if people are rude, if they have comments, different comments and stuff like that, the bottom line is that I want to look at my heart, and I want to make sure that my heart is kind towards them, even if they're a bit rude, even if they hurt my feelings a little bit. I want to walk in a place of forgiveness. That helps the transformation. Then there's the identity crisis, and like when my hair had been dark for so long, it was hard to get used to looking at myself in the mirror. And I had to go through this process of accepting myself all over again. It's almost like a second puberty, seriously. But it's so worth it, because all these things from, feeling ugly and dealing with pride and having to deal with forgiving people that are slightly rude about things potentially, or, having to deal with the identity crisis, all that does is form your character for the better. So this process is nothing but amazing. So I want to encourage you to go for it. If you haven't started already and you've been thinking about it, go for it. Think about it and then go for it. You're not going to regret it. And the very worst thing that can happen at the end of the journey, as long as you don't quit, the very worst thing that happens is you go, I don't like it. And you re-dye it, because guess what? You're allowed. You're a grown woman. You can do whatever you want with your hair. But I promise you that in the journey, if you treat it like an adventure, if you treat it like an experience, another aspect of our growth, there's nothing but positive that comes out of it. So that's all I've got for you today. If you've got any questions, leave it down in the comment section and let me know how your journey is going. Are you enjoying it? Are you at that awkward phase? What's going on for you? Let me know and we can chat about it. So also feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'll leave all the information in the description bar, and that's it. Have an amazing week. We'll talk to you soon.